For the past few years, I've been section hiking the Ouachita National Recreation Trail, a 222.5-mile hiking trail that extends from Talimena State Park in Oklahoma to Pinnacle Mountain State Park in Arkansas. In December 2025, I had completed the trail from mile marker 94.5 to mile marker 212.5, a distance of 118 miles, more than half of the total trail. All that I had left to do was the first 95 miles from Oklahoma and eventually the last 10 miles to Pinnacle Mountain. In February 2026, I had a very unexpected opportunity to cover that first 95 miles. I parked at the Big Brushy Rec Area on a Sunday morning and took a shuttle service to Talimena State Park, where I began my hiking trip at mile 0.
Well, I was a little worried about some of the water sources that were going to be available on the Ouachita Trail, but we had a nice big rain this weekend, and now I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to get across here. Oh, I'll find some rocks to jump on like a little bullfrog. It's beautiful out here so far. Oklahoma, who knew it? I just had to scurry through a bunch of brambles and thorns to get across that creek that was just back there. There was like forks upon forks. I had to like cross it 3 times. No bridge. But I'm lucky because look what I got right there. Oh, thank goodness that's there. I would have, I don't know what I would have done without that one. Oklahoma. Come out here all the way into the woods, and I'm thinking to myself, like, tonight, where am I going to find my drugs? I need some drugs, right? How am I going to do that? But then, oh my God, there's the international symbol for drug dealer right here in the woods. I just got to look around. Come join me. Oh my God, I'm vacation ruined. I thought I was out here in the middle of the woods, and look at that, some sort of transmitter tower up there, that hill. Ugh, how could they just disturb a beautiful scene like that? I'm kidding. I love radio towers. It used to be my thing. I mean, here's a better shot. I mean, if you didn't know those towers were up there, you'd be just like, oh, this is beautiful. It's still beautiful. Boy, that trail, though, that's going to be beautiful too, isn't it? Okay, Oklahoma. Okay. I can't tell if those are ponds or tiny lakes or the roofs of chicken houses or UFOs. Well, they're not UFOs, but I tell you one thing I bet they don't know is owners of chicken houses probably don't understand that they're very pretty up here when the sun hits them just right. Glad I can't smell them. Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be walking straight to them. They look pretty. They don't blend in with anything, but there they are. Okay. They got a nice view too. Sometimes I feel like I should be really scared out here. And for some strange reason, I'm not. I don't see anybody else scared around here.
See, nothing scary about that. Of course, I am facing the other way now. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I'm so proud of myself for figuring this out. You tie them to the rafters is what you do. I'd been trying to tie them to these little hooks that are hanging out of the wall. That's just not gonna work when you got a hammock. You tie them to the rafters. And I learned that from just looking at one of these shelters on Google, where you click on the name of the shelter and it brings up like everybody's cheesy vacation pictures. And I was like, oh, well, look, that guy did it. I can do that too. This is the setup. It's going to be a beautiful day is what it's going to be. A beautiful day to hike. The worst part of the trail is, still a pretty good day in my book. Today, I have about 16 miles to take on, and half of those will include possibly what has been called the worst part of the Ouachita National Recreation Trail. The reason why this place is called the Rock Garden Shelter is because the next 8 miles is nothing but rocks, boulders, just no trail, you're just clambering, I guess. And it's not easy to walk on rocks, as many of us already know. So I'm prepping for it. I've got all my calories. I'm limbering up. I'm mentally prepared just for this just to be possibly the worst hiking experience I've ever had. I'm looking forward to it, but we'll see. We'll see how bad it is. What do you think of these? I asked the kids. I said, are these yours? No. Are these yours? No. Nobody would claim them, and they're kind of cheesy. You feel like you're what am I, Tom Waits coming in from the alley to play the piano or something? I don't know. But you know what? It was the last thing I packed, and these worked great last night. So it was a little cold. It was about 40 degrees, which is cold in my book. I would say it's cold for Oklahoma. So anyway, hopefully I'll have an okay day here on the Rock Garden Trail. Oh, that's so weird. A lot of the YouTubers say the same thing that I'm about to say. And they're coming up on the rock garden and they say, you know what, this ain't so bad. I can do this. Look, there's a rock. Okay, whatever. And I know that what's going to happen is within a mile or so, it's just going to hit me like a pile of rocks, perhaps. Okay, I'm going to stop complaining about the lack of bridges around here. What is this? This looks like the ladder that they have at the basketball hoop game at the fair. It looks crossable. I don't know if it's safe, but we're going to give it a shot here. You got to come down this little hill. Why they built one here and nowhere else, I don't know. And why they kept this here, I don't know.
I mean, my goodness, if I was over on the Lake Maumelle side, this thing would be blocked off with a sign that says walk around. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about Little Rock's trail version versus the Oklahoma version, but facts are facts. Now you see that staircase right there? That's when I know there's about to be some pain. Oh goodness. I mean, I'm walking straight up on that thing. Yeah, it's like a wall in front of me. This is gonna be wall climbing. I mean, I can step up it. I'm being a little dramatic, but Lord, not that dramatic. Taking a little break here at this creek. Honestly, this is like the third or fourth creek that I've walked past like this. I'm not going to I'm not going to record on my camera every single one of these, but each one is just beautiful, man. I mean, we had a rain Sunday morning that was like half an inch. We had some snow a couple of weeks ago, but my Lord, I was not expecting all this water. There have been parts of the trail that have pretty much looked like this, that I've just kind of had to sidestep. Usually I go hike the trail like an idiot in summer months, like May, June, even September, October is too hot sometimes. And I always read the trail reports where they say, oh yeah, great water source. And I get there, it's just like a pile of dust. Well, now I understand, like, you know, in June, this is gonna be nothing. It's just gonna be a trickle, if that. This is where they say, look, you gotta use a scoop, which you don't wanna use a scoop. I never wanna do that. I'm taking a break. I don't even think I've gone a mile yet from the shelter. I haven't seen any mileage signs on the trees, but I feel like I've gone 20 miles, but I don't even think I've gone even 3/4 of a mile yet. It has been quite the journey so far. That's the ridge that I took that first shot of the bridge from. And on the other side of that ridge was just a huge, if you want to call it a glacier, you want to call it a rock slide, whatever. It was a huge pile of rocks that I just had to clamber over. I'm expecting worse. I'm expecting worse up here after the bridge. I gotta figure out how to adjust my straps. I don't know how to work my backpack. I've been wearing a backpack since grade school and I still don't know how they work. But I'm out here not to just make time. I mean, I got somewhere I need to be tonight. I'm trying to get to the Winding Stair Cabin. But that's, yeah, I'll get there eventually. But, you know, you gotta stop and smell the waterfalls. Again, I can't say that this is what everybody's been hyping about, but I can see where this is going to be the beginning of something. Very manageable, but again, this is just the overture, I think. We'll see how bad it gets, but my God, I've already been walking for a mile and I haven't seen anything, but this is like the worst it's been. I think I found where it begins now. That's a lot of rocks. Oh yeah. Bring it. Bring it. I don't have time to stop and take a picture of every one of these, but my God, it's amazing. Let's see if I can keep it in frame. I will say this, I'm still in the rocks a little bit. It's been like 500 yards of rocks. What do you think? I was expecting 8 miles of it. And no, I don't want to walk through 8 miles of rocks, but I was kind of looking forward to seeing just the awesome natural impression that 8 miles of rocks would look like. That's as far as the eye can see. So I'm like, again, I'd rather do 500 yards of rocks than 8 miles. But anyway, the whole point of this is the volunteers have certainly got their work cut out for them. Been hiking for about 3 hours. Boy, I haven't made many miles though. I might be up to 4 miles. That might be pushing it too. I knew this section was going to be hard, but I've had a good time stopping and looking at stuff like this. Ooh. I'm making lousy time, just lousy time. It's almost 12:30 and I should be at the next shelter by now by my calculations, but that's 3 miles away. So hopefully it won't take me 3 hours to get there, but it will probably take me at least 90 minutes. So hopefully I'll be there by 2 o'clock. That's my halfway point. So I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way to the Winding Stair tonight, but I'll probably at least make it to the Winding Stair campground, which is, I haven't even talked about the difference between the shelter and the campground, but there's a difference, and it's at least a mile apart too. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I mean, I've got this beautiful stream down here that I've collected water from, and I'm hydrated, I'm rested, and I might sound like I'm irritated, but I'm not. I'm having a great time out here, believe it or not. But anyway, I'll check back later. Hopefully we'll get to the shelter soon, you know, before nightfall. I don't know what I'm looking at. I guess this could be Holson Valley. But look, I mean, I don't know. All these little different features, like, I don't know if those are natural or somebody's been doing some mining. And I don't know what that mountain is. It's fitting the patina of the sky very well. Anyway, you can guess why I'm sitting here. God dang it. Freaking, you know, I'm from Little Rock, but not Boulder. One of my favorite things to do, or what happens on this trail, be kind of going along with my thoughts, thinking out like, how long is it going to take me to get to here, and how long is it going to take me to get to there. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, the shelter shows up. Just like a mirage or something. Want to know what would really make me mess my pants right now? I'll tell you. If I was to draw back this tarp and, I don't know, let's do it together. Oh, well, it's special. Nothing but cached water. I can deal with that. I get asked about this kind of stuff. What do I think about as I'm walking around on the trail all day? Just me and my thoughts. I don't wear buds or anything. I'm not sitting here listening to 38 Special or something like that. I'm thinking about where am I going to sleep? Where am I going to take the next break at? How much water do I have? I mean, it really boils down to very basic items that just kind of rotate through my mind. I'm also thinking about some other stuff that's been going on lately, but that's the main gist of it. So right now it's 2:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm at the shelter, at the beautiful Holson Valley shelter. And boy, I guess the road is just right up there too. I can hear some cars going by. It's real early for me to be pulling off the road like this, but I'm looking ahead at what's up next. And the nearest campground is like 7 miles away, which if I'm doing 2 miles per hour, I could do that in 3.5 hours, which would put me there at like 5:45. And I don't want to do stuff in the dark again. I did that last night. So I actually looked at my timetable, and it showed that for a 7-day hike, I actually had this as my second stop. I'm not sure why I did that, but that's what I had. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that I'm at mile marker 16.8 right now. And that's not much. My next leg tomorrow is supposed to be 17.6, which will be more than double, not more than double, but will be more than the sum of what I've done today and yesterday. So we'll see how that works. Best part is no more rocks. No more rocks, and I got one big hill to climb tomorrow, and it will be downhill from there to where I might be staying tomorrow night at the Pashubbe shelter. So wish me luck. I'm just getting my sea legs right now, and today was just a bitch, to be honest with you. Forgive my French. But that's where I'm at tonight, and that's where I'll be for a while, I guess. It's crazy because the trail is right there, you know. Boy, people will have plenty of opportunity to scare me half to death if they want to, but if they peek behind that tarp and they see me, maybe I'll scare them first. We'll find out for sure. I just realized I'm still wearing my little spotlight on my hat. I probably don't need it right now, even though, boy, it's not a lot of vistas today to look at. Last night I had roommates. It's the first time I've had roommates on the trail. I had a gentleman from Oklahoma City show up about 3 hours after I made camp, and then we were already strapped in, gone to sleep, almost gone to sleep. And a couple of dudes showed up in the middle of the night. When I say middle of the night, like 9:30. And they made themselves at home too, but it was like sleeping at Sigma Chi or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is a really dumb idea to be trying to walk and talk at the same time on this trail. So I just want to let everybody see the beautiful scenes I'm walking through right now. Ooh, it's cold too. I might take my spotlight off though. Don't want to lose that. Maybe that's why my backpack's so much lighter, because I'm wearing it on my head. I don't know where this trail is taking me. I keep thinking I'm gonna go back up that way, but I keep getting led down this way to this nice rocky path in the fog. I'll say this: if I start coming around that tree and I see a dark figure wearing black clothes and a green cap, I'm gonna freak out a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. A couple of signs here. I really got to walk up that thing to get my water. Oh, nobody told me I had to do that. It says Ouachita Trail that way, Horse Thief Spring this way. Oh, hell. Well, okay. Here's a map basically of the Oklahoma portion. I like this part. The trail is rocky westbound to Deadman's Gap and on to Talimena State Park. Keep your boots tight to fight blisters. Yeah, it's a little rocky. You could say that. Look, this is cute. These are some special interest areas. The huge rock glacier. Yeah, that was special. That was very special. I'm taking this little horse trail back to the Ouachita National Recreation Trail. Hey, there's the picnic area I just kind of packed up stuff in. And there up on the sign is a, well, what does it say? It says, no horses allowed beyond this point. Which makes me think, well, hell, what, is the horse gotta go backwards now? Poor horse. This is kind of a new thing for me. Of course we're in the National Forest, and of course there are loggers. But I've never come to a part where they're right there in front of me. Now granted, that's a state highway for Oklahoma, right up there on that ridge, so these guys might be highway department people or something, but boy, they're taking down those trees. Another few more miles in, and another weird forest road that kind of comes out of nowhere. Why am I stopping to show you the forest road? The woods are perfect. I don't know. It's something I do. You know, I've seen the warnings that it's a hiker's trail before, close to motor vehicles and horses, and bicyclists. But I've never seen the pack stock on here. And you know what? You can ride your bicycle here. Just no pack stock. You know, I've written about 40,000 words so far about the sections I've hiked on part 2 of this trail. Pretty much from, you know, Little Rock to Big Brushy Rec Area. And one of the things that keeps me with my journal taking, with my notes, is always being able to take a picture of the mile markers on the trees as I go by. I do that each time to kind of see how fast I'm going, and I can use that when I come back to see, you know, if I'm trying to remember where a landmark was. I'll just see if it's between, you know, which mile markers in the photo gallery it's between. You know what I'm saying. And out here, holy goodness, I'm at least like at mile marker 21, 22, something like that right now. And I've only taken a picture of maybe 6 to 8 of them. Like, I can't remember last time I saw one. Maybe mile marker 18. And I'm way past that right now. Not disorganized, I just feel kind of loosey-goosey. I'm not sure exactly where I am right now. Old Tim Ernst says that when he wrote his guide to the Ouachita Trail, he had one of those little sticks with a wheel at the end of it, and like a measuring thing that he would just roll down the path in front of him, and that kept track with clicks and how many miles and feet he was going. Whew, that's good for him to do. I mean, I've got GPS. I know I can get back, and if I want to know this second where I am, I could, but I don't know. Believe it or not, I don't like taking my phone out every 5 seconds. I'm also glad I'm not pushing a little wheel down the path either. God bless you, Tim. The blazes on this tree really kind of tricked me out a little bit for a second, because you can see them from all sides. And I'm just like, there's no trail there, but I just checked the far out app, and yep, this is the way I'm supposed to be going. I guess those mess of blazes are just to let me know that I'm on the right track. Something else I haven't talked about is I haven't seen any pretty rocks. Usually at the beginning of every one of these little treks I go on, all these little sections, I always pick up a little rock, a little piece of quartz or something. Some places it looks like the whole trail is paved with crystals. Not here, I haven't seen any. So I got my eye open for the first one. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's fog being blown across the road. Yeah, see? 2,400 feet might not be nothing to somebody from Colorado, but I guess to Okies and Arkies, it's a big deal.
Man, I'm sure this place is pretty on some days, the winding stair shelter, but today it's like some Dante's Inferno stuff going on here. Just being blown about. Nothing but fog and wind. It's pretty though, in a way. I just realized I've started the winding stair switchbacks, which this has been a rough ride so far, but you know what? I'm glad I'm doing this part downhill, because 32 switchbacks uphill, that's a lot of switchbacks. It's a lot of switchbacks going downhill. Anyway, not saying it's all downhill from here. You know what animals love to do? Oh man, how they love to poop on rocks. They can't stop themselves when they see a rock. Anyway, I've never pooped on a rock. Making a good time, good distance. I'm staying on schedule. Tomorrow's going to be daunting. 8 river crossings plus climbing up Ridge Mountain. Sure, why not? But after today, I feel like I'll be in a good place to do tomorrow. Keep it going. One step at a time. Whoa. Just kidding. God dang it, look at this BS. I mean, what? What is that? What's the point of that? And then, yeah, let me turn around. Oh, crap, almighty. This looks very pretty. There's a little path that goes down there and a little camping area. I'm going to take this upper path and hopefully it will take me to a bridge. Oh, I had a feeling about this. Well, maybe it's going to be prep for tomorrow. Here's the trail crossing. Oh my Lord. What will we do? A little non-hat action for the video fans out there. Oh Lord, I need a bath. Occasionally on the hiker apps, you'll see little ponds like this listed as a source of water, and I'm just like, no, that's okay. I'll just die. Fortunately, it's not a problem on this trail today because we got plenty of creeks. I'm about to hit one very soon here, but look at that. It's today's February something or another, and it already looks like June out there. Except it'll probably be green or something in June. I don't know. But don't get bit by a cottonmouth when you try to get something out of there. It won't be me, that's for sure. I know I'm too soon for the shelter, but what is this up here? Okay, I'm starting to get tired to think. That's a big rock is what that is. It's not a shell. I thought it had a roof. I swear I'm doing fine. I promise. I just don't wear my glasses out here, that's all.
tongue thing. I can't do that without sticking my tongue out. I'm sorry. It was like his it looked like the Charlie Brown comics when their mouths do like almost a figure 8. Ugh. Okay. I need to go to the shelter and get some rest is what I think needs to happen. And that's next. That's my last stop after this last stop. Good morning. What are we on now? This is Wednesday, so it's technically day 4. It's actually kind of day 3.5. Anyway, today's the big day. Today is the day. Whoop! Rock. Today is the day that we crossed the Kiamish River 8 times. Almost did that figure 8 thing with my mouth. There's a truck over there too. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm just walking through the woods talking to myself. Thing about Oklahoma, man. It's just like never too far from the road. Anyway, we got to cross the Kiamish 8 times. Then we got to scamper up Rich Mountain. That's 2,400 feet. And then it's a night at the lodge. Looking forward to that. So it's been a good morning where I'm packing light because I've eaten most of my snacks. I'm wearing something new today. It's clean clothes in a way. They're about to get dirty. And I can just rearrange everything when I get back to the room tonight and get things ready for part 2. I'm going to shut up because I want to see what this truck's doing up here. Now that's what a rock garden is supposed to look like. Not that other crap. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to walk through that either, but it looks a lot better than the rock garden I saw a couple of days ago. You see all these woods? It's for hikers, not for anybody else. That's why it's closed to motor vehicles, bicycles, and hang gliders. No, you can't go hang gliding around here. Ooh, if it could take you up, though, I'd make an exception. I haven't said much because I've been lollygagging a little bit this morning. I am not making good time. Boy, does that sound familiar, perhaps, but it's true. Check-in at the lodge is at 4 o'clock, and I do not think I'm going to make it at 4 o'clock. I hope I can make it before dinner's closed, but at this point, I just hope I make it. But my point is, these are some high mountains, at least from what I'm used to back on the eastern side of the trail of the Ouachita, near Little Rock. Up here, we're a good 2,200, 2,400 feet. Whereas, the tallest around there is Ouachita Pinnacle. That's 1,900 feet, which is pretty close to 2,200 feet, I guess. Pinnacle Mountain at the very end of the trail is 1,001 feet or something like that. So I'm twice as high as Pinnacle Mountain right now. And that's why I was so tired. It's not altitude sickness, it's just climbing 2,000 feet. But I'll give it this. There's a nice breeze up here, a nice cool breeze. As you get over perhaps the 1,500, 1,600 foot mark, you do start to feel a little bit cooler and nicer. Whereas down there in the valley, it cooks you a little bit. So yeah, I'm struggling a little bit this morning. I slept too good last night, but I'm doing, I'm making elevation here at least. I don't know about time, but I'm making the elevation. So there's been a lot of the trail you missed. There was another rock garden. I'm tired of even showing you all that. But that's why I'm not doing a lot of this. And this is almost for my sake too, because when I go back and look at my notes and everything, it's going to go from 35 to 36. And I'll be like, I'm sure something happened in between there. I'll just never know for sure what it was. Though I think I won't forget this part because this has been a booger a little bit. Here, I'll show you the trail again. I mean, that's where I came up. And I know it's hard on the camera. I mean, seeing it on the video, because you think like, well, it looks flat to me, but then there's the other part of the trail way down there. And over here, well, we'll see, there are some more rocks. I gotta go all the way up there. And I always get excited when I can see a little bit of sky up there, because that means, I mean, I'm not gonna just start walking into the sky, right? But I think I've got about another 300 feet till I top out. Whoo! That's what I had to say about that. Did y'all see my finger there? One thing that this Oklahoma side of the Ouachita Trail has had that I've noticed is some pretty cool non-shelter campsites, off-trail campsites. They got them in Arkansas too, of course, but I'm a hammock camper, so I usually don't stay at them. There's no place to put my stuff except hang it from a tree or something. But they've got some good spots. They're always nice and clean. It looks like you could set up a couple of tents, at least 3 of them around there somewhere. Have a big old fire, shindig, whatever you want to do. They got that going for them. They do a good job with that, I've noticed. So this is going to be a new one for me. I think we're coming up on the Kamish River, which requires 8 crossings. And we're not talking about rock hopping either. We're talking about getting in there. I've got some, I don't know what you call them. They're not boat shoes. They're beach shoes. They're, you know, the little webby kind of shoes. I'm still going to wear my socks. And I guess I'm going to tie my hiking boots up and put them back here with everything else. My trick is, I don't know, I don't want to keep putting my shoes back on and off 8 times. So I'm thinking about hiking. It's going to take about 4 miles to get through some of this stuff. 4 miles on these little webby shoes, these little beach shoes, through this. Stranger things. Hey, look, there's another campsite. But that's the plan for now. Let's go look at this campsite, for example. I'll show you the Kamish itself before we start crossing it. Oh boy. It's very pretty, I'll give it that much. It looks crossable by foot. It doesn't look like it'll be terrible. I'm not gonna go under anything. You know, 8 times makes you think like, well, what if I just stay on the correct side of the shore and just hug the shore the whole way? And I guess that could work in Greer's Ferry Lake or something, I don't know, but here we've got things like this on the immediate bank of the Kamish. Yeah, sure. What do you think is worse? Crossing the river in some boat shoes or going across a bunch of rocks on a freaking ledge like this? This first part looks like I can hop across it, but well, there is something going on over there. That's the main part of it. I don't know if I'm going to hop across that or not. Well, honestly, it doesn't look as bad as the big cedar that I went across last night. It's going to be interesting. Not gonna lie, I'm a little stoked about this, but oh, it'll be nice to soak my feet a little bit. I've been meaning to do that for a while. again, why do I have to keep crossing this river back and forth, instead of just going on one side? Let's look at that one side. I don't even know where the side ends, to be honest with you. That would be hard to walk along. It's not like the sandy beach or anything. God, this is pretty. My good Lord. I'm still wearing these shoes. Look at this. I look like Payne Stewart or somebody. I don't know. Look, there's my clubs. From what I understand, if you look at a map, you're going to think this river is called the Kiamachi or the Kaimachi or Kaimaki, or it almost sounds Hawaiian in a way. It's let me say it right, the Kimash. Kimash? Something like that. I don't know. It doesn't look like the way it's spelled, but then again, I'm on the Ouachita Trail on my way back to Arkansas. So, I mean, who's to say how anything should be spelled? You don't spell it, you look at it, because it's pretty. Keymash was fun. I enjoyed that. However, I'm not sure how much I'm going to enjoy this next part. I've got about a, well, where's the sign at? How can I do this? There it is. Hello. 3.3 miles till I get to the Talimena Scenic Byway, which is up on top of this hill. Good news is that Arkansas is somewhere up on top of that hill too. But 3.3 miles. I'm standing currently at about 1,300 feet above sea level. Top of that mountain is 2,400 square feet, 2,400 feet above sea level. Anyway, 1,100 feet I've got to go up in 3.3 miles. That's steep, but I have some motivation. And I got another chomper in my belly, so I'll be all right. Boy, did I get sunburned, or is that just the camera? This is a fun vacation. See, that looks like a nice little path, but no, we're going up this way. Oh, shoot. Maybe I'm not thinking this out right, but I think that's the mountain I'm supposed to be on top of here in a little bit. Now, that seems like a lot more than another 300 feet or so. I'm about 2,000, 2,100 right now. However, Rich Mountain is the second tallest mountain in Arkansas. And the first tallest is Mount Magazine, which is like 150 miles away from here. So if it's the tallest mountain, second tallest mountain in Arkansas, and definitely the tallest mountain in, say, Polk County, I don't know how there could be another mountain taller than it. Unless, maybe I need to look at my map. I'm looking at some goofy mountain in Oklahoma. But let's see, there's the sun, that's west. There's north, which is where I'm heading. I feel like that's the one. Oh my God. One last surprise from Oklahoma. Didn't know this was coming up. It just goes all the way down the mountain, I guess. You've been good one, Oklahoma. I don't want to say I was surprised, but I was very satisfied with my visit here. I don't know if I'll come back to this section again anytime soon, but this has been very nice. You know, if I was guessing, I'd say that somebody from Oklahoma made this. I mean, what's going on here? What is that? Is this supposed to be West Memphis or something? Freaking state outline looks like Gusty. And this comes in. All right, I'm done. I gotta go to the lodge. Got my little coffee nook. Ooh, drink some hot coffee for the first time in a few days. Look, they got, these are called the Backpackers Blend. Like they knew I was staying there. How nice of them. Now what I really want to try is those. I don't know what those are, but it's the mystery coffee brand. If it's coffee. So a little treat for myself coming up here in just one moment. So last night, I was so happy to get up to the state line. And I don't know why I thought this, but I thought it was like 3 miles to the lodge here. It was more like 5, which you're like, okay, so big deal. That's like another hour. So I was on the trail and the sun was setting. It was very pretty, but I was gassed. I was tired. I was hungry. It's starting to get a little bit cold. It's windy up here. And plus, the view of the trail just kind of like goes underneath Talimena Scenic Byway. It looks like that for most of the way. So I went up on the highway, and you know what? I'm glad I did, because walking down the Talimena Scenic Highway by myself, like I'm John Rambo or something, that was kind of a treat too. But it was dark. It was so dark when I finally got in. Arkansas, I've had nothing but good things to say about you. So why are you doing me like this? I mean, this is something that Okies would do. Throw rocks like this all over the trail. Yeah. It ain't much though. Boy, picture that by about another 100 times, and I'll have flashbacks of that for a while. So I'm finally on the north side of the Talimena Scenic Byway up there. That's the one that goes back to the hotel, goes into Oklahoma. Almost looks like the Pennsylvania Turnpike or something in some places. Which means that I'm going downhill, and I'm finally getting off of this mountain that I started climbing like at, what was it, 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So I've been on this mountain for a while. It's the reason they call it the second tallest in Arkansas, I guess. I very much appreciate all the fine work that the Friends of the Ouachita Trail do maintaining these trails, but sometimes blazes are like bridges. When you need one, you can't find one. But when you're on a nice straight path on a ridge, they're all over the place. It's okay. I don't mind it. And they're very blue. I appreciate that too. You can see that very well. But that's 3 blazes within 100 yards or so. and it's not like I'm on it's not like I'm back up on top of Rich Mountain with boulders to climb or anything. So anyway, I appreciate you, Foot. You're good people. This will take you up to the Rich Mountain Trail, which, my God, I have seen enough Rich Mountain for the time being. However, you get another good view up there. So if you want to try a good view, check it out. No horses on this trail. No ATVs either. Or that means side-by-sides too. I don't know. See, that goes back to what I was saying about what I did last night. It was dark, I was cold, I was hungry, blah, 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 I was tired. And I just hopped up on the highway and took the highway home. You're like, well, listen, Trey Baker, sounds like somebody didn't complete the Ouachita Trail this year. All right, you can say that if you want, but I saw some things on that highway that I would not have seen on that trail. Had some weird moments. Had just one weird David Lynch moment, like from the new Twin Peaks, where I was walking past this cellular tower that's making this high-pitched whine, and like I said, it was dark, just deep amber behind me, and that was the only light. And boy, I swear I saw this. I don't think I was hallucinating, but also I see this flash of white light, like what you would see if a guy was lighting a cigarette, except it wasn't a cigarette lighter. It's like a flashlight. It went bing, 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 and then it was gone. I didn't see anybody else again. I walked right up to that tower. I still didn't see anybody. So that was weird. And then a guy on a bike kind of came behind me, and he had a white light on. There's a train. And the train made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, a guy on a bicycle came behind me, and he had on that white flashlight. So it must have been him. But then he disappeared. So that was strange. That was strange too. Here, hang on. Look at this nice little bridge. Maybe we can sit here and enjoy the railroad together. But then here's my biggest argument for taking the highway instead of the trail. I saw a deer. I saw deers jumping across the road. And I've been on, by that point I'd been on 46 miles of the trail. I haven't seen any deer. I've seen squirrels and birds. Fortunately, no snakes, no bears, but no deer. I haven't even seen any turkey or anything. So had I not gone up on the highway, I wouldn't have seen any four-legged animal that has hooven feet or whatever. Anyway, as I'm coming up the campground, since I'm not on the trail, I'm just walking straight up the campground road, and I'm going through these dark campgrounds, and I don't want to say anything that's negative, but sometimes you walk through those campgrounds, you're wondering, like, who are these people? Are they really camping, or are they camping? And I get behind this, I see this one camper. It's not a tent or anything, it's just a camper. And he's got the LED lights going. They're going from red to blue to purple to orange, back to red. And I'm like, okay, all right. And as I walk by, I hear him talking. And he's doing that thing that sometimes men do when they're talking and they're trying to talk to themselves, but they're actually kind of talking to the world, much like what I'm doing right now. But he's all back there behind the truck. Oh, it's about time I got this thing working. Oh, where is that thing? All right, well, I guess I'm ready now. I'm like, who talks to themselves like that? And he comes around to the back of the truck towards the road that I'm on, and he sees me. He's like, oh, are you going to take a shower? And this is where I'm like, no, I'm not taking a shower. I'm just moving out of the way. Keep on going. I'm heading up towards the lodge there. And he sees my trekking poles and my backpack, and he gets all excited. He's like, you're a thru hiker, aren't you? You're doing the Ouachita Trail, aren't you? I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, did you start from Talimena? I'm like, yeah, I started from Talimena. He's like, honey, come here. And this woman from out of nowhere comes over. I didn't even see her, but she was like as close to me as that tree just about. And she turns on her phone, and now I see her, And she's like, you're coming from Talimena? She's like, that's the hardest part of the trail. And they're like, good going, congratulations, you can do it. It was just like, it was a lot to take in after freaking 15 hours of walking through the woods by myself. And it was a wonderful moment for me from this trail, but it was also kind of jarring in some ways too. They remind me like the people that stand on the side of the road during a marathon and hold signs and stuff, and they don't know anybody who's in the marathon. They're just there to cheer people. We need more people like that, I guess, but for people like me who aren't like that, it could be a jolt, that's for sure. Way down there in the valley, there's a shadow being cast from a cloud. It almost looks like it's been a prescribed burn or something. But if you look at it carefully, you can see that it's not a prescribed burn, unless prescribed burns work in reverse. Yeah, I've seen things like that before. But I've seen a lot of things too. We're not going to talk about that right now, though. Just passed by a couple that were walking the other way. They're going up the hill, planning to go back to the lodge by this evening. Fella said, like, I'm just looking forward to having a big cheeseburger and a large Coke. It reminded me last night, I asked for the same thing at the restaurant, and it was almost like a script. The waitress said, we have Pepsi. And I said, well, what else? I didn't even finish the sentence. She's like, how about a Dr. Pepper? I'm like, that sounds great. It's like, nobody wants the Pepsi. I don't know why Pepsi does that. Oh, we have exclusive contracts with the Arkansas State Parks. Oh, God. Well, at least you're making people stay outside and drink the water, I guess. In every A-frame, they had your number on the wall. Okay, whatever. I guess I'm getting close to the crossing the street here. You don't usually see houses that close to the trail. Well, you see them out in Lake Maumelle, because that's off of the federal forest land. It's just right there. I mean, it's a lot closer than it looks. I'm not going to go over there and start asking for Dr. Pepper or anything. This is the first train track, railroad track that I've come across on the trail so far. Not counting the little Rich Mountain Express that you see at Queen Wilhelmena State Park. This is a real railroad track. And here's the if I'm not mistaken part. I believe that the next time you see a railroad track crossing the trail like this is right near the end in Pinnacle Mountain State Park. So here's to staying on track. Dear Congressman French Hill and Bruce Westerman of the 2nd and 4th District, respectively, I would like to call upon, as a citizen of the state of Arkansas, a moratorium on these goddamn rock fields. Thank you. Yours truly, an American. Here's the first spot that's really felt like home to me. Makes me think I'm getting close to home. But the ridge here and the pine trees and the pine needles and the wind's blowing through the trees. I mean, you know, you could find a spot like this pretty easily in Pulaski County somewhere. I'll tell you where they are if you want to hear about them sometime. Especially up to where I was raised, up in Greers Ferry. Now I'm not going to go down there and get that one like I did the other one that was on the mountain last time, but there's where your party balloons go when you let them off in the air. Hey, she's a girl. I've seen some close calls, but none close enough. I'm ready to call it now. Ladies and gentlemen, at mile marker 58.8 on the Ouachita Trail, we have, oh, it's hard to see with this. That is quartz. That's crystal. Oh, I'm not picking that up. No, we're gonna leave that there. That's a landmark back there. That's like that bearing tree, whatever the hell that was about. Here we are, 59 times the pain. I hate litter, but when's the last time you saw a Shasta can? Sometimes the nature in this forest just makes you weep. That's what the waterfall just told me before I turned the camera on. Look at that. Here, I'll turn it around so you get some perspective of what's happening here. Get some perspective of, godly, freaking Yahoo serious here. Hang on. Here's the beautiful footpath that I'm on. Got another mile to the road. Oh my God. And here's this thing. Oh, I mean, it's tall up there. It's trickling. There's other stuff. There's other waterfalls up there too, but this is why you can't talk about how high a waterfall is. I mean, how many, you could say that's about 4 feet, but then you could say that's more like 20 feet, you know? I'm gonna put my Lyle Zato hat back on though. That was scary. Now I know why those people were looking at me last night at the restaurant. This evening got weird real quick, but I'll tell you one thing I'm very happy to see is, oh hell, hang on, is that. Oh boy. Yeah, it's somewhere up there. I mean, it wouldn't lie, would it? You know what? Maybe this is all pretty stupid as hell, but I'm enjoying it. Look at this. Boy, them shelters really sneak up on you, don't they? Yes, they do. Sunday night, the first night I was out, was the only time yet that I've had a cabin, a shelter to myself. I did have the room to myself last night at the Queen Wilhelmena, but after that, I shared it with my buddy Craig and those two dudes that showed up in the middle of the night, and Craig and I kind of bunked up the next night. And then, well, I guess then we had the Queen Wilhelmina, and now here I am tonight, but I'm by myself because they set fire to the entire forest. It was a prescribed burn, so it was supposed to be like that. But Craig moved on, and I don't know where he is now. It got dark fast. I hiked up here in the dark. My son gave me these. Here, I'll show you this. This is funny. I got these little jazz hand sort of things my son got for me, so when I walk down the street, cars won't hit me. So I was using that tonight to get to the shelter. So I might have one to myself, and I think this might be my second to the last night on the trail. And I've had a good time, and we'll talk more about that later. But that's what's happening right now. I'm going to show you the stars here in a second, though. It got cold last night. Oh my God, it got cold last night. That's the coldest I think I've ever slept outdoors. Oh my. It's cold right now too. I'm going to be trying to make some miles today. I don't know how much talking I'm going to do. It's kind of funny with these things how they start off real big and grandiose, and by the time you get to the point where you're almost back home, the story just kind of peters out. I don't know if that's what's going to happen here or not, but I do know I'm going to try and get some miles. No more lollygagging. Too cold for lollygagging. Way too cold. We'll show off some of this controlled burn that they had. They do this to just, it's kind of obvious how they do it. It's a very, they're not just out here setting fires. They're like making sure they burn the right things and stuff. And they burn the yeah, I don't know. Just look at it. It's pretty. I'm on this old forest road now. Usually these are the cheats, the express routes, the how to get off the trail if you just want to walk on something smooth for a while, if you want to call this smooth. But in this case, I think it's actually part of the trail, at least as far as Far Out tells me, my app that I use to navigate this business. One thing I've learned about myself is my tongue is frozen, but also I am a cranky person in the mornings, especially when I have to walk like 800 miles. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but the best parts of the hike have come like around mid-morning, mid-afternoon. You know, yesterday I got past the Lover's Leap at Queen Wilhelmena, which seems like a lifetime ago, even though it's the last video that was on here. And then I hit all those rocks, and it was like, what the, how could they, who the, anyway. I haven't had anything to eat yet, haven't taken my medication, haven't mixed my little water cocktail that I like with the electrolytes. Oh, and then these things show up out of nowhere. You can't even see them, can you? They're like these cliffs. Kind of cool. Anyway, I'm making good time. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. I'm like an hour ahead of where I was yesterday. I don't know where I'll be tonight. Hopefully not somewhere where it's cold like that. No more mountaintops when it's 30 degrees. That's a bad idea. Take it from you know who here. All right, let me see if I can show you these cliffs. Oh, cliffs. I don't know. They just kind of, now you see where all the rocks come from. Those cliffs probably used to be like all the way up here. Now they're all the way down there. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. They weren't able to do a prescribed fire on the rocks. You know, burn them rocks up. Burn them. For my record, just saw a deer. Mile marker 70.8. That's 2 deers. The one thing about these roads that sometimes give me pause is, I said it before, the trails sidetrack, they sidewind, whatever you want to call it. These things just go up. They just go straight, they go up. Now you're not going to roll your ankle on a rock or anything, but it does just go up. It reminds me of Winding Stair back in Oklahoma. Except I don't see any fog or anything this morning. That's nice. It's actually a pretty good view if you could see the view. There's been a couple of clearings where I could see something, and guess what? It looked like a pretty view. I'll send you a postcard sometime. Okay, I was starting to get a little worried about this forest road being a shortcut and being wide and all, because I didn't want to go up there. So I'm very happy to see my friend the trail again. I agree with some folks. When you look at the map of the trail and you see where it follows the contour, just barely missing the summit. Such is what we have here. But you know what? I haven't been to this one, but I've been to a few others just out of curiosity. Because I was kind of like mad because the trail wasn't taking me up there. You know what you see? You see the other side of the mountain. You see this, except it's facing that way. There's no view of the Empire State Building or anything, I'll tell you that much. So, you know, if you ever want to, you're welcome to go up there and scramble through the briars and sticks and everything. If they were to put the trail up there, boy, those poor volunteers would have a time cleaning it, wouldn't they? Plus, there's all sorts of drainage issues and whatnot. So, you know, not every summit has to have a road leading right to it. All right, I did it. Just to prove my point. There you go. Don't get me wrong, it's not ugly. But that's what you're missing. Oh, it's breezy up here too, by the way. Uh-oh. Looks like the road's closed. Guess we'll have to turn back and walk all the way back to Oklahoma. Boy, that's going to be something else, but they do serve Dr. Pepper at the Queen Wilhelmena Lodge. Oh, I can just step over this. This is no problem. Never mind. Crisis averted. Oh! What would you do if you walked up that 0.2 miles up that road and just found like a really big metal coil going up and down? Going, going, going. All right. I need to take a break here a little bit, but after I go downhill some more. Here's why I never feel alone. I don't know. I always got these mountains just on the other side, watching you while you're watching them. I don't mean to make it sound creepy. It's just you always feel a presence out here, and you can assign that presence to whoever you want to assign, I guess. But you can feel it from looking at those mountains. It's kind of neat because you take say 270 back through Mount Ida towards Hot Springs, and those mountains are out there too. They're watching those little towns. You can set up the fanciest, swankiest little roadside hotel, but you're not going to beat those mountains. And they're long on looks. Let's give them that too. Whoa! I'm about to fall off the mountain. I certainly feel its presence in. I hear it's okay to eat these, but these look all shriveled up. I'm just gonna wait till I get home. Sure are a lot of airplanes flying around. But if there's one thing I've inferred from my friends in Mena, it's when you're hiking around Mena, don't look up at the airplanes. Don't even make eye contact. This could be the last milestone for a while. I'm on top of Blue Mountain, one of the many Blue Mountains in Arkansas, and I'm at 2,600 feet, and that's up pretty big for Arkansas. Boy, if this ain't the top 5, I don't know what the other 2 are. I know Mount Magazine and Rich Mountain are numbers 1 and 2, but anyway, 2,600 feet. That's quite a ways up here, nearly half a mile up in the sky, and you know, I could go to 2620, 2630 maybe. I'm going to stick to the trail, but this is it. This is the highest I'm going to be for a while. And I believe that on the trail, the next highest will be the Ouachita Pinnacle at 1,900 feet, which is, that's not even 2,000 feet, or 2,000 feet, as someone say. Anyway, greetings from Blue Mountain, Polk County. It's funny, I'm about to hit Scott County for about a mile, and then I'll be Polk County again. Polk County has a lot of Ouachita trail miles, I'll say that for them. A lot of airplanes flying around up there too. I don't want to talk about that anymore though. I'll say one thing, I think today was the day that I truly became a hiker. Here's one of my trekking poles. Here's the other trekking pole. Look, I can pick up garbage now. I guess I won't be able to trek around on the hardwoods at home anymore. No big deal. I'm trying to stop stopping and just enjoy the view and the ride and the trek. I've really enjoyed the last couple of miles. They've, you know, you gotta get the rocks around here, where it's like real tight. You gotta squeeze through stuff. And this one, I mean, I'm not sure how this stuff was worked out, whether or not this has been all logged before and now it's all grown back and they just left it alone. But it's all spread out. Like, you know, you can have a little disc golf course around here, I guess, if you were going to do that. Ooh, there's some rocks there. But I love, like, you know, up here high, you know, would have been a time I would have run up there and seen what those rocks look like. I bet they look like that. So I wasn't going to tape anything here, but I keep having to tie my shoes and retie my shoes, like I'm 5 years old or something. I don't know how my shoes keep getting untied like that. Anyway, I'm just enjoying the ride. We're about between mile marker 81 and 82, I think. Somewhere down there is the tri-point for Polk, Scott, and Montgomery counties. It's where those three counties come to one single dot on the map. I hit the one that was for Montgomery, Yell, and Garland counties, which is like on the other side here of Garland County. But I was going to go and check this one out. But the trouble is, it also means I have to walk all the way back up this hill, and I'm not even halfway to the tri-point. So I'm not going to lollygag, but I am going to acknowledge that it's down there. It doesn't count for me. I got to put my foot on it, and I'm not going to do it today. I probably won't ever do it again. But it's here if you're looking for it. Good news is I'm now in Montgomery County. That's where my car is parked. That's where Miss Lori is going to have maybe a cheeseburger waiting for me. That means I'm almost home. I'm at mile marker 85 and a half, and my car is at 94 and a half. So 9 more miles. I still think I'm going to stay the night at Brushy Mountain, which is about another 5 miles from here. Hopefully I'll get there before it gets too dark. But after wandering around in the inferno last night at Foran Mountain, I think I'll be okay. And I even got my spotlight in my pocket instead of inside my backpack. So anyway, here's to the tri-points. Here's to Montgomery County. And here's to getting to find some shelter soon. And some water, that'd be nice. And here's what a rock garden should look like. Or whatever you want to call those things. I feel like this has been landscaped a little bit. Obviously the path, but even those rocks up there. That looks like a little fun playground to go up on. Like a little castle. I don't know how much bouncy castle you're going to get off of there. We got a little part that sticks straight up. Anyway, I always like coming over here where, well, there's more than just the Ouachita Trail. Why, Montgomery County folks love to come out here and play on the rocks. Surprised it's not crowded right now. Well, night hiking. Not that late though. It's only like 6:30 or something like that. I figure if I was doing this in the summer, it'd still be light. And I'd also be hearing like pretty quiet right now. I'm about to cross this forest road and I'm about 1.7 miles or something like that away from the shelter. Look how big my phone is. It's huge. And here's some more trail magic, as they call it. Let's see, we definitely got water, which is very useful, believe me. And what do we got? Tell you what, I'm gonna put the phone down. There we go.
Good morning. This is my last morning as a hiker, as a camper, as somebody who sleeps in puffy jackets. I haven't taken my socks off since I put them on, I think, at the Queen Wilhelmena Inn, because my feet are killing me and I do not want to see what they look like right now. But I made it to the Brushy Mountain shelter last night in the dark. Fortunately, my little light did not go out, and I was able to find my way here very easily. It was one thing, I was coming up the hill and I just, the map was weird. I came to this weird T section where it was like a football field or something. I'll show it to you here in the daytime. And, but I came up the hill and I was like, well, where is this thing? And my app says I was like right on it. And then I turned on the big bright white light and boom, it was like 5 feet in front of me. I guess I needed a sign in front of me that says shelter, 5 feet, and that would have helped. This has been an amazing trip. This has been very rewarding for me, especially with the way the month started when I was laid off at my job. And, you know, something like that happens. It's very traumatic in a way, especially when you're not expecting it. If they had told me, you know, your job is up on the roof, we're trying to get it down, whatever that joke is, that would have been different. But when, I don't know if that's what they mean when they say that when one door closes, another one opens. You know, if you lose your job, you get to go spend a week in the woods. But this has been very, very, very helpful. I'm very positive and optimistic about the future. And, you know, I'll miss working at that place. But right now, I know I'm going to be okay. I mean that. I don't know why I looked away wistfully when I said that. I don't. Anyway, last night I was coming up through here, and it was like some callbacks to some of my first hikes when, listen, I'm still an amateur. I've only done the Ouachita National Trail. I haven't done the Appalachian. Hearing Craig talk about the freaking Continental Divide Trail and the John Muir Trail, I'm way behind those guys. I'm still not, in the world of hiking, it's good to be a lightweight, and I'm not a lightweight yet. I've carried a jar of peanut butter that I haven't even touched, and just that kind of stuff. I might as well have brought candles. But anyway, before today, when I first started hiking, I was really an amateur. And what I would do is things like not take any water. That would be an amateur thing to do. And one time on my first hike, I got caught in a rainstorm, and I didn't have any poncho or anything like that. I had a blue IKEA shopping bag. I just pulled over my head. I crawled down under it was ridiculous is what it was. Anyway, last night I was like walking through the forest, and all of a sudden it just started raining. But it didn't really touch me. It was just like man, when they say scattered showers, I mean scattered showers. It was just, I was in a place where wherever the leaves were getting hit, I could hear it. So it sounded like a big rain, but not everything was getting hit. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, that was one callback. Second callback was I took a picture of this tree that looks a lot like the tree that is up at the Forked Mountain Vista. And, you know, it reminds me of a lot of things too, that tree. And you can have your own interpretations of that. And then, well, there was a third one, and now I can't remember what it was. But it rained last night again here at the shelter, and I was in the shelter so that I didn't get wet. I don't know. Lots of neat things happening out here. Lots of things happening in here, and I'm looking forward to getting back. I'm looking forward to seeing my family again. Looking forward to taking a big warm bath. I'm looking forward to going up to Lori's at Bluebell's if she'll let me in, and having a cheeseburger. And usually she serves sweet, unsweet tea, whichever you prefer, but I might go for the Dr. Pepper. Well, I'm going to start calling the Queen Wilhelmena Special. It's been a wonderful trip. You ought to try it sometime. If you need somebody to come with you, let me know.
There's something to be said for a place to lay your head, space to be, some sympathy from a friend. Heart that's on the mend, a hole to rest your dead. Glass of tears where all your beers were shed. And if your future's a disaster, you can put your fear to bed. 'Cause here's another lonely bastard. Only half is broken, only half is fractured. Something to be said for a dream that won't stay dead. Soul that shines down to the bitter end. Letters left to send, some never will be read. Staying home, crawling back to bed. But if your future's a disaster, you can put your fear to bed. Here's another lonely bastard. Only half is lonely, only half is fractured.
Boy, I was a funny little guy 6 days ago. Hey, I was wondering where I was going to get my drugs tonight. Thank goodness I found this shoe hanging from a tree. I thought it was funny, still do, but I don't know, you get on the trail for a few days. God, imagine doing this for weeks. And I don't know. You stop making fun of nature, I guess, is what I'm saying. Well, hanging shoes, that's not nature. I don't know. I'm almost to the end here. Well, I've taken a lot of pictures of mile marker signs, at least where they were available. That's 94 miles. I probably have only taken like 30 of them. Anyway, my car is parked at 94 and a half. So this is almost over. And I can hear the highway already. And in a moment, this trail is going to drop me off on a forest road. And I'll take that forest road back to the car. And then the Ouachita Trail will go off to the right through the woods and across this highway that I'm hearing and onto mile marker 95 and beyond. I've really enjoyed this trail. I really feel good about this trail. I'm really glad I found it. Glad it found me. I'm very blessed to have had this opportunity. I'm so glad that here we are a quarter way into the 21st century, but we still have places that look just like this. there's a novel concept. That's another trail here at the Brushy Creek Rec Area. Starts off with the stairs. Hey, Oklahoma, you want to see another novel concept? It's called a bridge.